Good morning. This is a message for leaders in every sector with specific focus on entrepreneurs and solopreneurs. Today we're going to take a look at best practices in building a professional services business. We'll look at things that work well, some things that don't work all that well, and things that you need to do in order to be successful. So the first thing you need to be mindful of is that you have to change your mindset. You may be an expert in your field, you may be the very best at what you do, but quite frankly, your clients don't care. It's not about you. You need to change your mindset to understanding and to speaking to the clients and their particular needs. Once you're able to do that, then all of your expertise can come forward and actually be of benefit. But change the focus. You take a look at websites across the internet. They're full of people who talk about how wonderful they are, how great they are, how many things they've done, transactions or whatever. Again, nobody cares about you. They care about their own needs and opportunities and how you're going to help them with those. Second thing is to hire the three most important business partners. So I've excluded bankers from this, but obviously they're important. But the three most important are an accountant, a lawyer, so those are quite obvious, but sometimes people don't think of this third one, and that is a good business coach. Now it's interesting because a lot of people will say, well, I don't need this because I have experience in, private sector, public sector, whatever. It pays huge dividends. I've got a great recommendation for you, a company called Rhapsody Strategies in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And specifically, Rob Dale is one of their master coaches. He's a great person to deal with. Highly recommend that you reach out to folks like Rhapsody and Rob Dale. Business coaching, it's a tremendous investment and it'll pay dividends for your organization. Next thing is to invest in critical business tools. So as a solopreneur, you're doing things all by yourself. Entrepreneur, you're doing things maybe with a smaller group, maybe with a larger group. But there's so many activities that you can automate and that you should automate, especially if the services that you are providing come from you directly, the expertise, knowledge, whatever. So take a look at things like CRMs, customer relationship management tools, which help you with your sales pipelines, with tracking your customers, with generating leads, those sorts of things. File management tools, so you're not relying on email and other sorts of practices, archaic practices where you're going to end up losing documents. Accounting software sometimes, banking transaction software. Think about the things that you can automate. Think about the things where you don't need to be spending your time. Next point is to find the right clients, or shall I say, find the right competitors and colleagues with whom you can have strategic partnerships, and also take a look at strategic partnerships with associations. So there's tons of associations out there in different industries. Some add more value, some add less, but you really want to think about which ones you can make contributions to and which ones can then make contributions back to you. And if you choose the right ones, you can actually find yourself getting a lot of valuable airtime, for instance, through webinars, video sessions, whatever. It pays off really well. Next thing is social media. So you really got to think about social media, and you shouldn't just be posting stuff for the sake of posting it. So I think back to the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic having been declared. I was on a webinar or on a video session hosted by the Barrhaven Business Improvement Area, facilitated by Rob Dale of Rhapsody Strategies. And there's a gentleman there named Mark Dickey from 28 Digital. Clearly, these guys are marketing experts. And something Mark said, what really resonated with us, was that now is not the time to go dark. Now's the time where you have to continue to communicate with your clients, because eventually we're going to come out of this in some way, shape, or form. Really great advice. So you've got to think about things like that. You don't want to go quiet. You don't want to waste people's time with information that's not necessary. So you have to be really strategic and think about what sort of message you want to convey to your clients. And again, remember, it's not about you. They don't care about you. The next point is to read and learn. So I've got some great examples of some books that are worthwhile reading for whether you're building a brand new business or you are reinventing. Building a Story Brand is a really good one, as is The Challenger Sale. Another really good one, Never Split the Difference, on marketing, on human interactions, and one that I personally have just started looking at, which I quite like. It's How to Be Insightful, and it's kind of neat because it helps you have a better understanding of the profound meanings behind things. And and the learning side of it as well. So you can be an expert in your field, but you can always go out and learn something more through another webinar or whatnot. You got to be strategic with these things, but never stop learning. And the last point is patience. You have to recognize that you're in it for the long game, especially if you're started during this COVID time, or you're trying to recover. You have to recognize that it's going to take time to get you where you need to get to. So obviously you make the right investments on your way there. Let's take a look at some things that really don't work. So I think of new entrepreneurs, new solopreneurs who start their businesses and they get really excited about buying, all sorts of promotional products. So they go on Vistaprint and find out you can buy mugs and you can buy all these other things. And then you discover that, if you take a haphazard approach to it, it really doesn't benefit you at the end of the day, and you just end up wasting money unnecessarily. So you got to put a lot of thought into these things. And then also, trying to be everywhere or be something to everyone there. You're going to find that there's lots of groups with whom to network. There's lots of associations, and you could spend your entire day just networking, just interacting with people. There's huge benefits certainly to it, but you got to be smart about it. You can't spend all your time doing this. So it doesn't work well if you're trying to be everywhere. You got to think about who you want to interact with, who your clients are, and make sure you spend some time with them. So here's some advice on the first three things. These are the first three things that you should do. So the first thing, make those investments in the accountant, in the lawyer, and in the business coach. As I said, these things will pay off for you. These are really smart investments. You will not regret any of it. Second point, read and learn, as I talked about earlier. And third point is to play the long game. Recognize that it's going to take a while to get you where you need to be, but if you take this approach, it's going to be beneficial. So I never even mentioned who we are. And again, this message isn't about us. It's about you. But of course, I want to mention that we are Integrity by McCarthy Incorporated, and we're in the business of helping organizations, helping leaders prevent and resolve workplace harassment, violence, wrongdoing, and fraud. And this story of these lessons learned are based on our first 6 months in business. So if you have any questions in relation to, these tips that we gave you today on things that worked well or didn't in terms of starting a new business, reach out to us. And of course, if you have any questions in relation to preventing or resolving workplace harassment, violence, wrongdoing, or fraud, we're there for you. So you can contact me. My email address is kenneth@integritybymccarthy.ca, and our website is integritybymccarthy.ca. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.